Welcome to Beyond Success, where we uncover the deep truths of becoming the greatest. I'm here today with
Dimitri Tate. Yes, sir.
Dimitri. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. It's a pleasure to have you on, to have me on this podcast with you, man.
Nice to have you too, man. So, bro, what you doing?
I'm a trader in the foreign exchange market. I've been trading for about almost 2 years now. So it's been pretty good. That's really what my focus is on. So yeah, that's just what I do as of right now.
How did you come across that 2 years ago?
This is probably gonna be funny, but I think a lot of traders come across using through IMLs.
Bro, that's like the third time someone brings that up.
Bro, like literally, I didn't know anything about trading. I had just graduated from high school. I was like my first semester of college, and this girl just Instagrammed me. She just DM me on Instagram, like, uh, talking about trading, bro. So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me talk to her. So then, and that's crazy too that we get to that. I'm gonna get a little deeper in that, but she get to telling me about this opportunity to make money. So then she get to tell me like, yeah, all you gotta do is join this group. We're gonna teach you how to trade, who are the band. So I told her, I'm like, okay. I'm like, cool. So what's the fee? She's like, yeah, I gotta do is pay the fee. So I asked her, I'm like, what's the fee? And she told me the fee. And I told her, like, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pay it. Now I had the money, but I just wasn't sure about paying for that first. I don't know what she's explaining to me for real. So but she was just so like thirsty to get me in because them people are aggressive, bro. Like them IML people are aggressive, bro. Like they are aggressive. I'm telling you. So she was so aggressive to a point where she paid half of the fee. Like she put up half, and I paid the other half. Like yeah, she was like, yeah, I give you half of the money. You just pay the other half, and we can get you in. So that's how that happened. And eventually I got into the IML, and I was hyped. I'm like, all right, cool. So she got me set up, and after she got me set up, when I started joining the calls and stuff, man, they weren't talking about no trade, and they was all you hear is bringing people in, bro. Like for real, like. And I caught
Yeah.
on the game quick. Like I really caught on the game quick. Like at first it was they taught a little bit about trading because they had me set up my Metal Trader 4, and everything, trade view and everything like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. And they had me for a minute because I think the first trade I made a trade, and I think the first trade I made like $50 on gold. So it was like, all right, cool. Okay, I see what y'all talking about. But if you trade, that beginner's luck. You come in, you can get your trades, and I know what you're doing. So I didn't know what I was doing, but I made $50. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna stay with the group. Man, after a while, I just started losing money. Every time I was joining the calls, they wouldn't talk about nothing about trading. It was just join people, financial freedom, and they love talking about financial freedom. I'm like, yeah, bro, if you want to do this, you want financial freedom, you want to be great, you got to be great. You got to using all this motivational talk to get people to, you know, go out here and make these phone calls. But I want to learn more about trading. I'm like, I want to learn about trading. You know what I'm saying? Y'all not teaching me trading. So, and then that monthly fee was something else too. It was healthy. It was like $235, and I'm like, I'm not finna keep giving y'all this $235 and I ain't learning nothing about trading. But y'all got me messed up. But it was low key sweet because through one of the apps I was trading, I went from like 130 to like 257 in a couple of minutes. They used to how to make it. They say money in minutes. So it was a little buy and sell quick. So I'm like, all right, cool. But I still didn't know what I was doing for real. So I started losing that. And it was just, I noticed the pyramid scheme quick, man. But that's basically how I got introduced to trade through IMLs.
Bro, that's like the third, I think it's the third time that someone was on this podcast and talked about IML. Um, and I've never heard something good about them. Um, Bro, I heard like some crazy shit. In the last episode, uh, the guy just said there was this like admin of the group. It was a Telegram group, I think, and they were praying to him because he made like a trade, and it was just like a cult and shit.
Yeah, and see, I watched that video too. When you send me your link, and yeah, I watched the video. I watched some of that, so I definitely remember that he said they was praying to the guy or whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
praising him. Yeah, see, now I ain't never, I ain't, on my group ain't never do nothing like that. I would have left immediately after that. There ain't no way. That's that's crazy. But that's
Yeah.
another thing. It was like so many groups, and you just had this one high person. My person was his name was Bryson or Brian something, and Brian Thompson or something like that. But we wasn't praying to him nothing like that. No type of sorcery. That's some sorcery stuff, man. I don't know what they doing. They praising, bro, or something. I don't know. That's crazy. That's crazy.
Bro, how long did you stay in that group before you left?
I'd say probably about a good 2 to 3 months. Like they got me for a good 2 to 3 months. The first month I was trying to get people in. I was really trying to get my homeboys in. And that was my first go-to people. And she was telling me like, I think how they got it is once you get one person, then uh you wouldn't have to pay the monthly fee, I think. But once you get two, then you can start collecting like $75 a week or something like that. Or you had to get 3 people for it to be free and then get more people. So I was trying to get my homeboys in, but they weren't really going for it first. They like, we want to see you make money. I'm like, all right, cool. So, but after that, after I kept joining the calls, they weren't teaching trading. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm starting to get hip to this. Like, y'all just talking about signing people up. And I'm not doing that. Like, especially I'm in Chicago, so the people in Chicago is crazy. So I'm already like, I'm not gonna be calling people and inboxing people in Chicago that look, I only know a certain, like, I got like 3 to 5 people that I know that I talk to on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not about to get the inboxing people telling them to come join this. They gonna already think it's a scam. There's already too many scams in Chicago. So I ain't getting treated now. I am good. I'm Gucci. All I got is my friend. So they want to join. I'm like, all right, cool. So the first month went past, I paid the 235. And man, I would like I regret getting in them IMLs, man. Swag, I seen that video where Swag was just dissing them IMLs, and I'm like, yeah, bro, IMLs like they something else, man. They took that 235 the first month, then the second month, I stayed like one more month, and I paid that 235 one more time. But after that, I just couldn't keep paying it. Like I couldn't keep paying it, especially since I wasn't having progress. So I was getting on the phones with some of the mentors, these millionaire mentors, because they preach their millionaires, they got the cars, they got everything. So they was really trying to get me back subscribed because it got to a point where I had unsubscribed. So they're trying to get me back subscribed, and they're like, what can we do for you? How can we get you back in? I'm like, if y'all really want to keep me, y'all need to pay for my subscription. You know what I'm saying? Y'all making millions of dollars anyway. Like, I'm just like, for real.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
they asking me like, bro, what's the problem? Why you not? What's going on? I ain't even tell them like, bro, y'all not even teaching me trading once about, so I'm not making no money off y'all. So if y'all really want to keep me in this program, one of y'all gonna pay this $235 fee? Like, oh yeah, he just steady talking about how they gonna do whatever they have to do to help me stay in. But obviously money is the reason why I'm not in. They weren't trying to hit none of that. And then after that, I just stopped avoiding them. I just kept leading them on. And and really why they kept coming to me, because the girl that recruited me and her started coding, like started coding. And I mean coding, I mean like me and her was on the phone every day, all night, like to a point, yeah, like it was crazy. Like that was my jet for, that was my little, yeah, like for real.
Bro.
It was crazy, like for real. Like I had like me and her would talk, and it wouldn't even be about trade no more. Like Shorty wanted to be my girlfriend and everything for real. So That was the only reason I was still in the group because me and her started talking. So and be trade, we'd be talking about stuff outside of trading, but they would come talk to her like, yeah, what Dimitri doing? Why he not get back in? Woo woo. And I'm steady telling them like ain't nobody paying me, ain't nobody. I'm not making money from y'all, so I can't get in. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day,
Mhm.
whatever y'all saying, I explain to y'all what the problem is. Y'all don't want to help. I want to learn real trade anyways. I don't even care about the group. So they kept constantly trying to call me though, like constantly trying to set up these meetings. And through her, especially through her and me and her coach. So she telling me like, yeah, they gonna talk to you and this and that, this and that. I'm like, all right, cool. And I remember one day I was fixing my light bulb downstairs and I'm on the phone talking to them. And I just kept letting them talk. Like I'm already in my head while they talking to me. I'm like, I don't care what they say. I'm not joining back. Like I'm not joining back. So I'm just agreeing. Yeah, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, yeah, all that. You know. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I want to stay. I want to stay. Knowing I didn't want to stay, I'm like, I'm not staying. Y'all not getting no more money from me. I already see how this business gonna go. Another year or two from now, people not about to be joining because they gonna catch on to the scheme. Um, one time I was talking to her and they had like an event downtown in Atlanta. Bro, when I tell you they had one Airbnb and it was like 100 people in there. 3 people, 4 people to a couch. Like for real, like y'all claiming to have all this money, but they really had an event and the house was packed. Like everybody had to put on bread. The house was packed, like packed, bro. People sleeping inside the cupboards and stuff. I'm like, why is it
Yeah.
like for real? Like
Bro.
I'm like for real. I'm like, I'm telling her, I'm talking to the girl. I'm like, why Bryson didn't just order 2 Airbnbs? And you know what I'm saying? It could be more comfortable. Y'all getting money.
Yeah.
Y'all, me and their mentors, y'all making 6 figures a year. You know,
Hmm.
no. And people just was falling for it. I don't see how people was really falling for it, but that's because they
Bro.
constantly preach that God wants you to be great. Financial freedom. If you want financial freedom, if people not answering, people not saying yes, you just gotta keep going. And you a failure if you don't. If you don't know how to get these people to join, you a failure. Man, I left
Bro.
so quick, bro. I left so quick. I left so quick. I told my mentor, he was telling me, I told him like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead, trade, do my own thing, find another way. He like, bro, it's not gonna work. I tried to do it, and I just ended up back in inside this IML, and this been great for me. I say kudos to you, bro, but I'm not you. Like I'm not
Mm.
you. I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna take the harder route. I'm gonna go learn this the right way, and in a few years, I'm gonna really be a trader. I'm not gonna be within this IML Academy. And literally 2 to 3 days later, like it was, I guess it was like, oh God's timing, bro. I came across Swaggy C out the blue. I never knew
Mhm.
who he was, none of that. But like after I said that out loud, I guess the universe heard me. Like 2 days later, I was just scrolling through Instagram and I came across Swaggy C. And I've been on my trading journey ever since.
But in that I am academy, did you try to recruit some? Like you said, you tried to recruit some of my friends, right?
Yeah, that was about it. That was it. Like even though they would try to tell me, to get on calls and try to recruit people, I would say I was trying to recruit people, but I was only sticking to my buddies, and I already knew they weren't gonna join. So that's just
Mm.
what it was. Every time they asked me, yeah. And then my mentor, which was the girl that got me to join, me and her, like I said, me and her started coding. So she wasn't even really talking to me about trading for real no more. She done forgot all about for real. She done forgot all about what I'm supposed to be doing for the group because me and her was cold. Like it was crazy. Like every night I'm on the phone with her, all type of crazy stuff. I'm like, yeah. I had her send me. She bought me some for Valentine's Day. Like it was
Yeah.
crazy, bro. Crazy. And we was in 2 different states and she sent me some about the time that was crazy. But
But didn't she try to scam you by like getting you into this IML thing?
hey, I mean, I mean, that's what they always trying to do. She got, she ended up getting, she got that money out of me, Well, the money came to the company and helped her make money, but
Mm-hmm.
they only got like 2 3 months out of me. I'm like, all right, cool. But I guess the Valentine's present. I got some new flip flops. I got some flip flops and some candy. So I guess that I guess that suffice, right? I guess that suffice for the 235, man.
And then she stopped contacting she stopped contacting you after you left IML, or was it like going on
We was still talking, like
for how long?
like a couple of months afterwards. Like after that, that's because we was just really cold. And I ain't gonna lie, I liked her
Mm-hmm.
too, so we was just still talking even after I stopped, uh, paying the fees and joining IML calls and everything. Me and her was talking. So,
Oh yeah.
but then after a couple of months, uh, we stopped talking basically.
Okay. And then you left IML, and a couple of days after that, you found Swaggy, right? And then how did that go from there?
So yeah, after I found Swaggy C, um, I clicked this link. Like I went on there, I clicked this link, and well, actually on his story, I seen him posting something about trading, and so he was talking about how he got free videos on YouTube. So I clicked on his bio and his Instagram, and I went to his YouTube, and he had like a lot of free videos explaining what forex was, explaining strategies, explaining the pairs, what pairs to trade, like everything. Like, and when I seen that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's up. And even though he had an academy that I wanted to join, the YouTube information, like to me, I feel like the YouTube information was good enough to get started. Like his videos was in depth to a point to where I was watching them every night. Like I was watching his videos all night, and he was explaining everything well. I'm like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? I was taking my notes, and his energy itself, like with him teaching it, just had me more intrigued to learn it. So I was definitely
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm definitely not going back to IMLs. I'm just gonna stick it out and study this free information, you know. And that
Mm-hmm.
made me wish I found him sooner. I'm like, man, I wish I could have found him sooner, and I could have saved the 200, basically like the $500 they got out of me. If I would have found Swaggy sooner and used the free information, then I could have took that money and traded. But yeah, so that's how I got into him, and I just kept learning his free information until I was able to get some money to buy his course.
Mm-hmm. And where you at right now with your trading?
2 years in now, man, I gotta say it's been a journey, but I'm finally get to a point where I'm handling the psychological side of it. Cause I used to, it was just, I didn't really had the mindset, man. I was just jumping the gun, getting in, getting out, didn't really know what I was doing. Not really learning how to analyze the market and everything. So after all those losses, I'm finally getting to a point where I can win now. Like I'll get a win, I can catch some wins, cause it used to be rough, man. Like I would literally blow my account waiting on the move to happen, and then go to the demo account, and then the move that I was expecting to happen, but I blew my money on trying to catch that move. It happened on my demo account, so now I done went crazy on my demo account. I $3,000 in profit on a demo account, but I'm mad because this is the move that I knew was gonna happen, but I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
make the money for real.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, um, really, and then just to speak on topic with me and my mama, like I said, I was in college at first, but then things happened. I didn't stop. I had to drop out and everything. So,
Mm-hmm.
but I was fine with that because I really like trading. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this trading stuff. But parents kind of want to see you doing things that they're cool that they, are known of. So me not having that success, it was like, Ma, I was trying to show her like I knew this was gonna happen, and I'm showing her my demo account, and she like, okay, what about the real money? And I'm like, Like, see what happened was, see what happened was, I kind of blew the money before the move happened, so I didn't get to make that real money. So, but I'm finally getting there now. Where I'm growing this small account,
Mhm.
because in trading, if you can't grow a small account, you can't grow a big account. So
True.
I'm definitely getting there to where I can consistently get wins every week. I'm working on my patience. I'm reading more psychological books like Mark Douglas
Hmm.
and everything. So it's looking good. There's definitely been some good progress and good lessons on the way.
Cool, man. And where you heading? Like, do you have some type of goal for your trading or for your whole life that you want to achieve?
So I really do want to be a full time trader, and my long term goal first is to reach six figures. And so I got a plan. I want to eventually, after I get to a point where I feel like I can consistently win in the market, I'm going to try to get a FTMO account and leverage
Hmm.
that, leverage their money, and then provide for my own account and be a full time trader. But there's other things that I want to do that I want to invest in. Like trading has also opened my mind into just the investor world, period. So like outside of trading, I want to get into some crypto, stocks and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm kind of into the investing as a whole, but I definitely want to do. I want to be a full time trader. So
Cool. And if you had to give some advice, right? Some of your best advice, what would you say?
to the traders out there,
Yeah.
please read Mark Douglas Trade in the Zone before you do anything else. Like for all my young traders out there that's going through that process of just buying and selling and going back to the charts and thinking that it's the charts. It's really you. It's really your mind. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to become a better trader, go read the books that tell you about your psychological errors. You know what I'm saying? Because if not, you're gonna keep making the same mistakes. So instead of just going out and trading, go learn about what you're actually doing first. Go learn. Go put your head in the books. Go read and read and read and really study the psychology part, like because trading is 10% trade and 90% psychology. Like
Hmm.
if your psychology isn't right, then you can't execute correctly. You can't be patient because in your mind you haven't built that mindset of being able to properly probably excuse me, to be in that mindset to properly trade. You definitely gotta have the patience. You definitely gotta have that carefree mind state. You can't be afraid to execute. You can't be afraid to lose in this market because it's a part of the game. But if you fix your psychological errors and you read those psychology books, you'll cut it in half, most definitely. Like I wish I started reading those books sooner. I would have cut a lot of my losses in half for sure.
Do you do something, or did you do something to keep your psychology intact, to keep you disciplined, or did you just keep on, like, in this trading thing, just trying to get it until you got it right? Because Elias, he told me, he was also a guest on this podcast. He told me like he goes to the gym, so he's disciplined and it's good for your mind and your body. Do you do something like that to keep your psychology intact?
Yeah, so um it's a part of my routine. Like I exercise as well to keep my mind right. But when it comes to getting ready to trade, I play I meditate. Like I meditate to clear my mind before I come to the trade. Then I go to my notes and I just say out. I got like 5 different quotes that I say to myself to help me mentally for when I'm making decisions on the charts. It's like I say these things like I do not fear the markets. The market only gives me information, not pain and stuff. Because like I said, when you go into learning about the psychological part of trading, a lot of people have fear. You know what I'm saying? When you have fear associated with those losses, so it makes trading a little harder. So I always remind myself that the market isn't hurting me. The market isn't. giving me this emotional feelings is me myself. Like it's myself. So I really just have quotes that I say to myself and I meditate. And then I also have some lofi music in the background. I put it in my headphones to keep me just focused and concentrated. So, and it's helped me a lot.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna try it out with the quotes you say to yourself, right? Like it's kind of like a manifestation thing. Like I do that, but I never like I do that also with trading, but never like directly when I'm about to enter the markets. So I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try it next time.
Yeah, it'll definitely help you, man. Like I always remind myself. So now when I look at the markets, I don't try to look at the market to be right. That's another thing I tell myself. Like I don't care to be right or wrong in the market. The only thing I care about is seeing the opportunity that the market is giving me. And it just kind of changes your perspective. A lot of times we come into this market, we want to be right or wrong. I think the market's going to go up, or I would think the market's going to go down. And then we get upset when it doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? So, and it kind of stops you from actually seeing what the market is trying to tell you, because the market only gives you information. It just wants to let you know the candlesticks and everything. It just gives you information about where it wants to go. So once you get to that point where, also you got to accept risk too. You have to accept risk, and you got to accept that at the end of the day, it's uncertain whether you're right or wrong. So once you get to that point where you constantly tell yourself and you get into your mind that you're not going to always be right, and so therefore you don't care to be right, you just care to be on the right side of trade, you will definitely trade better. Like you will see the
Yeah.
market from its perspective and not from your perspective.
Mm. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, bro. Do you have
Yeah,
something to
thank you
say?
for having me, man. So my message to all the young traders out there, everybody who wants to be a forex trader, just enjoy the journey and focus more on the skill and not the money. The money's gonna come with the skill. Take your time, be patient, learn, um, read those psychology books. They'll help a lot. Once you read those psychology books and conquer your mind first, everything else will follow. And don't give up. Definitely don't give up. Like a lot of these traders, they've been in the game 3, 4, well, not even 3, 4, 7, 8 years now. 5, 6, 7, 8 years, and they usually didn't see their breakthrough moment till their third, fourth year. So we're all going through the same thing. We're all going through the same journey. So never give up, and always just find a way to improve yourself and focus on your psychology first, because your psychology is most important. Yeah, I really want to give psychology like 90, like 98%, or like that's what's executing everything. It's definitely your psychology.
True.
Exactly. The analysis, the strategy, all of that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you don't know how to execute. So focus on your psychology, read those psychological books about trading, and like Mark Douglas said, he explained that you don't even have to know how to analyze the market right, because if you learn how to just view some of the information, you learn the skill, you don't have to always be right to learn how to win in the market. You just have to know how to perceive the information that's given you, and be in the right mindset to execute off that information, and you'll be just fine.
All right. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, bro. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. Thank you for bringing me to this podcast, man. It's a good experience. It's my first time being on the podcast, so
Yeah. No problem, bro. I appreciate you too. And thank you for the viewers for watching this episode. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed this podcast.